Coach Guy Massi here with Coach Matt Massi with another episode of Move Your Feet. We're from M2 Speed, Strength, and Performance. And today we're going to continue on with our series, taking a look at the Maximal A.O.D. Angle of Deflection Power Rip Snatch, where we're going to progress a little bit and we're going to come from a half kneeling position. So we're going to have to move Coach Matt around a little bit. We're going to go from the frontal plane then the sagittal plane. I ask you to refer back to the previous video to get a better explanation of what this movement's about. However, real quick, angle of deflection is the difference, relationship between the center of the bar and the end points. How much flex there is. Center point to the end, that's your angle of deflection. We really like the movement we're about to do here because it comes from a dead stall force position. And we get to take a look at some kinetic glitches if they are in place, and we get to help correct them also. So Matt, let's show them what it looks like. Let's front rack that in a half kneeling position. So Matt's set up in a front rack position, and from the get-go, you're gonna take a look, make sure he's comfortable, and you have to kind of let your client feel as if he's able to push down into the ground and come up before he does the movement. Normally, I'm gonna see guys try to correct this front knee, or guys and gals correct this front knee. They're gonna tell them to go more linear because you're thinking split squat, split squat, split squat. But the fact of the matter is, in this movement, he has to be able to get his base underneath him to perform this. So I'm good with that. I'm good with the more lateral position here, like he's gonna squat. And then you'll see in a second why he needs to kind of really push into that. So Matty performed the movement. He comes up, he slams it down, up he goes. Let's do the opposite leg now. Okay, so he's gonna really concentrate on throwing that bar down to his quads. Good, and rest. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at it from the sagittal plane. Once again, he gets down, and he's on his go. Boom, straight down, up, boom. So you really got to concentrate on getting to the quads there. One more time. Bang, slam, up. Good. Now, Matty, just stay in that sagittal real quick, and back up a hair, bud. Good. Stop right there. Now, you can actually stand up, Matt. You don't even have to do it again. I just want you to stand there. What I'm taking a look at is, back up a little. What I'm taking a look at is his operational slots. When you do this particular movement, you're going to be battling against your operational slots. So from the sagittal, this operational slot right here is like his A slot. Move away a little bit more, he's got like a B slot. Move away a little bit more, he's got like a C slot. We don't want him to go too much past the B slot. If he starts brushing that C slot, he starts to get in the danger zone where he's taking that load too far away from him. And then we have X and Y landing spots, and that's a whole nother zone lifting presentation that we do. But you'll get a really good idea if you put somebody next to a grid wall or an align-a-bod to see how they're moving. Now you see when he performed this, when he came out of that split squat or that starting position, we start to take a look at any potential kinetic glitches. So just get back down into that starting position without the bar. Okay, right from here, this is where you're gonna learn to coach this movement. Right from here, you're gonna see what they're relying on to get them up off the ground. Naturally, you want that live toe on the back half. And that's okay, we want that. We don't want a flat toe. Show them what dead toe looks like. That's dead toe. And in your brain, you're saying, well, that would be good because then I know they're relying only on that front foot to create that ground reaction force. But it's not very practical because if he moves like that, he's gonna collapse at the hip right away. So he's gonna have live toe. So live toe, that's number one. Now, front rack that bar like you're gonna do the movement, please. Good, and I wanna keep him in frame. So, as he starts his initial push, and I can't make him go slow-mo, but one of the things I'm going to look for is I'm going to see as he goes for the initial push into that front leg, if he collapses, and he did not. Go right back down, Matty. Good job. Okay? He knows vertical, 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 because he's coached the movement 1,000 times. If he were to glitch at the hip as he comes up, so go a little anterior tilt, yep, we're already battling to keep our slot. So you want to be super cognizant when you coach this movement that you say, hey, listen, stay in your A slot, especially when you come up. So let's try to go slow-mo on it. Stay in your A slot, good vertical chest, good, boom, right there. Now slow-mo, almost drop it. Slow-mo, good. Stop. So now he breaches his A slot, he's into his B slot, and when he throws it overhead, he's smart enough to know, go back to your B to your A. And that looks excellent. So we have a lot of stuff going on here in this movement. We're coming from complete dead stall. So we're creating dead stall force. You have no counter movement. We're not borrowing any force. We're generating that ground reaction force. Once we generate that ground reaction force, then we borrow it and we lend it to the next movement, and it takes this movement to the next level. So this would be a progression of the movement. Please go back to the first video, the previous video, which just showed maximal angle of deflection, power rip snatch, starting from a bilateral standing position as opposed to this half kneeling. We encourage you, get us some emails. The emails are great. We love the questions. If you have a question and kind of wonder why we do certain things, this, once again, we're talking about flushing out any kinetic glitches. So when you have like 4 or 5 or 10 people lined up doing the same movement, you now have some sort of diagnostic to look at and say, okay, we have anterior tilt there, we have somebody collapsing at the hip, we have somebody going too lateral, they're rotating, and it just becomes a really good diagnostic progression. So once again, Coach Guy Massi, Coach Matt Massi, M2 Speed, Strength, and Performance with another episode of Move Your Feet. Greatness is forged, not fabricated, and that's your day.